Welcome to another video. Today's video, I'm actually, I have all these electrical things. Got some electrical wire. I'm gonna mount the battery on the trunk of the car. Run the wires here for the starter. And guess this distribution box installed somewhere in here. Stay tuned. So I'm back here in the trunk. This is where I'm going to mount the battery, somewhere in here. So I have to figure out where I want to mount this tray. It has some bolts that go through it, and Optima battery fits right in there. So I think I would really want to do it right in this area, because this is where the frame rail goes out. But I don't know if that's the flattest area. So I'm gonna find a place to mount this, and then, you know, positive and negative cables, which I have kind of laid down over here, are gonna go through the floor pan here. I could probably use like that hole there just to put them through there, put a grommet. This goes right into the inside of the frame, so I don't want to use that one, or just drill a new one. But I want to probably keep them right next to the frame on the outside of the car, and then go all the way, attach, you know, bolt them down to the frame. And somewhere up here I have to figure out if I want to put this here on the engine bay, somewhere in this, you know, area. I mean, it could even be way up here, or go through the floor pan somewhere and mount it over here. So I think I might do it on the engine bay area, just so that way it's out there for other, you know, stuff like fans and things like that. But I do want to mount the computer in this area, so maybe I don't want to, you know, put that big old gauge wire over here. So I'll have to figure that out. But first, I'm gonna find a place to mount that plate back there, and then I'll bring you guys along to see what I ended up doing. So I'm pretty sure I want to do it on the passenger side, and other than that, I don't know too much. So let me figure it out, and then I'll show you what I decided. I think that's gonna be the area where the battery is gonna live. It's easy to get to it right over here. I can actually, the tray fits pretty flat in that area, and the bolts will be on each side of the frame rail. So I can drill the holes, put the bolts, put the nuts underneath. I think that's gonna be a good area. And then from here, I can run the positive, probably put the fuse that's included with that kit I ordered somewhere in here, maybe mount it right in here, or maybe, you know, somewhere around this area, maybe back here, and then go that way and drill a hole right, you know, before it gets to the cabin, but right on there, go on inside of the underneath the car there. And same with the negative. I'm gonna probably route it maybe somewhere in here, drill a hole and tap threads right straight on the frame too. I think I could hit somewhere in here, and then that way I can I have more threads, more metal. I can even weld a nut underneath, but just that way I have ground right here. Put a terminal in, two terminal ends, so pretty much just the wire going to that bolt, and from there it's gonna keep going. But that way there's, you know, a good ground over here. Go all the way to the front, and then do the same on the front. So I think that's the area. I might wait to drill the holes just till I run everything, but that looks pretty good. So I'm just gonna figure out, I'm gonna go underneath and just figure out the best way, best place to run the cables, drill those holes, and keep going. Alrighty, so I went ahead and drilled a hole for the positive cable there, put a grommet, and run the wire underneath the frame. It's already all bolted down there. I guess I can kind of go underneath. I'll probably put another little hold down clamp here, but it's all bolted to the frame, comes around here. I do only have one of those smaller clamps left. Everything else I have is bigger. And then I'm pretty much here up front, so now I need to decide whether, you know, I could just go kind of up here around. I did put a double loom here where it's going kind of, you know, from the inside to the outside of the frame. It's not really like sharp edges, but I just wanted extra, so I put double loom and then Tesa tape. And I may do that here if I'm gonna put it right over here and then just go into this opening. And I think I'm gonna put this, you know, here somewhere, either flat like this, just so I have the power distribution box here. On these vehicles, the battery goes right over there where that big hole is, but you know, with this here, I can get my power for like fans, and well, really that's the only thing up here. So and also power for inside. I mean, there's not gonna be that much stuff, but I can run another, you know, thicker wire, not that as thick as this one here, but and then just go inside. Now the other option I can do is put this right up here, you know, like on the firewall around this area, and then just go, you know, the cable is right there. I can just go up to right here, well, this little area here, and then from here I'll just go to the starter, which the starter, I think, because of the headers, I'm going to probably come around the back side because the terminals are on this side. Just, you know, run a cable around this way. And I can, same thing, run the cable, go underneath here, the apron, and then go through on the bottom, just so there's not a bunch of cables there. But I'm gonna take a short lunch break, think about it. You know what, now that I'm thinking about it more, I think this would just look nicer at the back here, on the back. Any power, you know, I can run right inside there, and then when I need power for the fans, I can go underneath the apron here. I'm gonna replace this at one point, but not soon. So I just don't want like a bunch of wires here, so I can go underneath and then come out right there and run it to this piece here. So thinking about it right now, I think I'm just gonna mount it up here, you know, just like right here. This is pretty good. I can get some self tappers for now. I can take this little cover and just put also a nut and washer on the other side. But all right, I think that's gonna be, instead of just going all the way over here, just go right there. And I'm still gonna need to go with that big wire all the way to the starter down here, but I think that's what it's gonna work out to. The negative cable, I threw it on the inside for now. It's running, it's gonna run possibly, I'm not 100% on that one, because technically I can ground it to the floor like I had talked about. I am gonna do that regardless back here, and that's probably, I mean, that would ground the whole car technically, right? But since I have the long wire, I think I'm just gonna run on the top, mount that to the top, run next to those cables that go for the tail lights. Originally the car had like a little cover that covered those cables there on the corner, so I can either do that or just leave them there and then pass that ground cable all the way through over there, and either put this block as well. I have that for negative, but maybe just put it here in, you know, inside the fender. Just as another spot really for grounds, and then just, you know, maybe drill like, bring the wire in, and then just drill like here and tap it so that the frame is also again grounded up here. You know, I could do that. I could even, this is pretty thick metal here, almost as thick as that frame, so I can actually drill on the inside and tap it, mount it there on the inside so we don't see the wire here, and then run one from there to ground the block somewhere around here, which, you know, somewhere probably here, like where the motor mounts are. I know there's a ground on the back of the head, which I'll probably just end up taking off, but that'll probably be the cleanest, so that way there's not like a bunch of wiring here. Like this wiring for the headlights, I'm probably gonna, you know, at some point redo it and put it inside of the fender so it's not up here. So I'll probably do that. I think I might mount that this other distribution block for ground just inside of the fender well here somewhere. You know, this is where that little piece is. Nothing in the suspension is gonna hit that anymore, so I may just maybe mount it here. And like I said, really, I mean, the ground, if I just bolt it here to this metal piece, it's gonna ground the chassis. I might not bolt that a little distribution block. The only thing that would help is if I have other things to ground. I mean, there's like 4 terminals there, but I don't think I want to have all that stuff under this fender well here. So I might just actually clean this up, put a bolt in here, mount it really good, and then anything else I can just add it to that bolt, I guess, as time goes. But that's what I'm gonna do with that ground cable, and it's gonna come out somewhere in here because I know this is right where the parking brake cable comes out. So I might just drill, you know, we'll see on the inside the best bet, but if I can drill around this area, I'll drill here and then just attach that cable over here. So okay, so made some progress on the wiring. Went ahead and connected the distribution block here. I have the cable from the battery coming in, and then the one from the starter, or for the starter, goes right out. So it's almost like it's directly from the battery. And it comes out here, and then it just goes right in here. And I don't think the wheel's gonna hit it. I will have to check that. If not, I can move it a little bit. But the starter hooks up right there, so that's pretty much directly there. This doesn't move or anything, so it's not gonna be pinching that. And that's double. I put double wire loom and then Tesa tape and electrical tape, so it's extra insulated. I got the back here, the battery all hooked up, so the cable comes, the positive battery cable comes, and I will take those plastic caps off the battery once it's ready. But I have the fuse box here. This is just a 250 amp fuse. Inline, kind of like the main fuse that I'm gonna run in there. And then for the negative, what I did is drilled a hole here and welded this bolt from the bottom, welded it on the bottom to the frame rail. And I just gotta finish bolting that up and then hooking up my negative cable here. So same thing, this is gonna be like it's one cable all the way, but it's grounded to the frame and the trunk right here. You know, if I need, like for the fuel pump here, I'm gonna need a ground. I'm probably gonna come directly here because that's pretty much off the battery. I just don't want to have a bunch of things here on the battery. And then this is gonna go that way. I think I'm gonna put wire loom on this, at least here in the trunk. I need to buy a little bit more, so I still need to finish this. I'll continue that here in a second, and then we'll run it all the way out front here. I just haven't done that yet. So next thing is just to pretty much pass that cable where I want it on the trunk. I think instead of going up through the back, I'm just gonna keep it here. probably a little bit farther out, you know, right behind those humps there. Just because, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna have any other things here in the trunk. Plus, I'll probably eventually do carpet, or even like I did on my Mustang, where I put a wood just so it makes it flat, all this area, although this trunk is really flat. So even if I just do carpet, you know, that'll go over that cable, you won't see it or anything. And that won't be till I do the quarters and everything. So that's, you know, that can sit there for a while. If I take off for a drive, it's not gonna harm anything. Anything that I put around this area, I don't think it'll go that way. This fuel pump connector and everything, I have to put a grommet there, and just, you know, same thing that would be under like carpet. And then I am going to put sound deadening, and I can always put a little bit of the sound deadening on top just to hold it down in certain areas. So making some progress here on the positive. So I just got a little bit of finishing here on this negative cable, pull it all the way here, and like I said, I think I'm just gonna drill a hole here, kind of like I did over there in the trunk. And actually, I might just do a bolt and then kind of weld it on the inside here. That way it's secured on there, and that'll be it. So once I do that, I'm gonna I have a trigger. I'm gonna see if the starter cranks, the engine cranks okay with that cable and everything. So let me finish that negative, and then we'll get to that point. Alrighty, so I run the negative cable down and made a hole there on the firewall. And then that goes here into the fender well. And I went ahead and just made this the point where the negative cable comes in. And then I did another cable right from here into the engine block right behind the exhaust manifolds here. And I just routed those, put wire loom. It's bolted also to the frame on the inside there, that way it doesn't move and touch the exhaust or anything. I do have about an inch and a half from the exhaust there. If I need to, I can move it, but we'll see there. So that is all set. I'm gonna just finish up here in the trunk. So I did have enough cable just to go back there. I may just put little hoops kind of up and just kind of hang it up there for now. I'm gonna finish bolting this down since that was all welded. Now it's cooled off, and then just finish putting the terminal. And we'll be all set with the battery installation here on the Challenger. That way we can get started on the next step. I went ahead and finished hooking up the battery, negative battery cable. I just put it up there and it comes down here, tying that down, bolted down the battery hold down for the Optima. So I'm just gonna put the Optima in here, put these hold downs, bolt it down, and then connect the cables. And I'm gonna get my starter trigger and just make sure that the engine turns over, and we'll see how that sounds. So let's make sure it turns over. Hopefully, I mean, if you're watching the video, it's probably gonna work. I hope. If not, I'm still gonna put it in there. But let me get my trigger hooked up in the battery, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so the battery is bolted down, positive and negative hooked up. This is nerve-wracking. Let's see. I did get my trigger hooked up. Let's see. Oh crap, here goes nothing. Let's see. Oh crap. I think that sound is just the start of disengaging, but holy crap, that sounds loud. That's awesome. So that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Any questions, comments, leave them below. We'll see you on the next one.